So, hello everybody. We're here to talk about one of the best novels you'll read in your GCSE studies, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, who sadly died not too long ago. And this Jool study hack is designed to help you understand five of the main themes in this story to help you when you get into your GCSE exams to be able to analyze this story and really show some critical thinking and some analysis. So let's take a look at the five main themes that we will talk about today. So the first thing we're talking about is tradition meets change, which is a really powerful driver of this story. We have masculinity and its discontents, which again is a striking part of this story. We have fate versus personal choice. Again, what a powerful thing that you see in lots of stories, but particularly in Things Fall Apart with Okonkwo. We have the disintegration of community as things change, as new people arrive and new influences arrive. And also, we have the role of women in society, which is a massively important theme in this book that is easier for us to understand in a modern perspective than maybe it was when the book was written. So let's jump into it. Let's start with tradition versus change. So this clash of cultures when tradition meets change is a very, very important element of this story. Just imagine your world turned upside down by an entirely different culture. Now, this is the reality for Okonkwo and the Igbo society of Umuofia. Achebe really masterfully portrays this collision between the colonial Europeans and traditional African cultures and highlights the destruction and confusion that ensues. It's a tale of loss and resilience, a theme that resonates with anyone who has experienced the clash of differing beliefs or lifestyles. So this makes it very, very easy for us to understand as readers, because in so many ways, we're all subject to traditions changing. We're all subject to cultures being warped and moved around and altered by some other influence. And this is no different. This is just a different place in the world, but it's a very, very understandable, comprehensible theme that we can understand through our modern eyes. So don't be afraid in your exam to kind of compare these two things and use your own lens to see this story. And remember, literature is about interpretation. There's no right or wrong answer. As long as you can explain what you think, then you can be rewarded for that with your points and with your score. Now, the second theme we're going to talk about here is the struggle between change and tradition. So ever felt torn between sticking with tradition or embracing change? I think we all have. Well, welcome to Okonkwo's world. We can explore the tension between preserving one's cultural heritage and adapting to new realities. This theme is especially relevant in a rapidly changing world where Okonkwo finds himself, and we see his struggles, which are eerily familiar to us all. I mean, hey, I'm just about 37. Oh my goodness, life today is incredibly different from the life that I knew growing up as a boy. Your own life has probably changed momentously in the past 10 years. And Okonkwo is in the middle of that. So he's our anti-hero. He's not a very likable character, but here he is in the middle of this massive change as his village and his culture is being dragged into the modern world. And almost everything that he knows and believes is about to be challenged by new ideas and new concepts. Now, Okonkwo in this story is really, as we mentioned, our anti-hero, and he symbolizes the masculinity that dominates the story. Things Fall Apart. Masculinity isn't just about being macho. Achebe delves into the pressures of societal expectations on men, showing us how Okonkwo's fear of appearing weak drives much of his life's decisions. This theme opens up discussions about the toxic aspects of masculinity and the importance of vulnerability, conversations that are as crucial today as ever. And you only need look around you to see sometimes how toxic masculinity can be. You live in a world dominated by things like the Me Too movement. And really, there's a reason for that, because most of history was dominated by male masculinity. And a lot of the problems that came out in the world were a consequence of masculinity. So in this story, it's very interesting to see this watershed moment as Okonkwo kind of loses control, and you start to see his weaknesses displayed more overtly. Don't overestimate, or don't underestimate, rather, the vulnerability that sometimes very masculine, macho men have inside of them, because sometimes it is a shell that is not too thick and easily crumbles. And Okonkwo's shell crumbles in this story. Another powerful theme in the story is fate versus personal choice. Do we control our destinies, or are we the puppets of fate? This is a concept, this is a theme in so many stories that you might read, but especially in this book. Now, Achebe presents a complex interplay between personal choice and destiny through the rise and fall of Okonkwo. It's a theme that encourages deep reflection on how much of our lives we can truly shape versus what is predetermined by forces beyond our control. Now, this is an interesting element in terms of time, because obviously the context that this story was written in is very different from the context you probably find yourself in right now. The idea of theology and the idea of religious beliefs and the idea of a belief in deities and gods may not be such a massive thing for you, but for Okonkwo, these powers and influences from a higher spirit or higher power or multiple higher powers really dominate his life. So the idea of fate and destiny for the longest time was a very powerful element. And to see that questioned, is he truly destined to be a powerful, successful man? Or is it the fact that his personal choices are actually destroying his life? Should he just accept his fate or fight back against it? For Okonkwo, this is a very, very large schism that is happening inside his own life. Now, to the next element, and maybe this is the most interesting for me personally, but it's the role of women in society. Now, women in Things Fall Apart are often seen but not heard, yet their influence and importance are undeniable. Achebe subtly critiques the marginalization of women in Igbo society while showcasing their strength and resilience. Now, this theme speaks volumes about the role of women, not just in literature, but in shaping societies. Now, you only need look at your parents' or grandparents' generation to see how society was often dominated overtly and obviously by men, but behind that or under that, there was a strong female influence. My own grandmother was an incredibly intelligent person, but she took a backseat to my grandfather because that was a traditional husband, male-led culture. In this society, we see something kind of similar, something that we can all recognize from back in the day, where the men appear to be making decisions, but really behind that, you see strong women with strong roles and strong positions in this story. This is just echoing or mirroring the lives that so many of us have. So the final element we can talk about here is the disintegration of community, which again is something that is happening so far away from most of us in this Igbo culture, but is something that we just recognize in our own lives, the disintegration of culture, the idea that the world around us is falling apart. Well, for Okonkwo, his world is falling apart. That's the literal and metaphorical theme of Things Fall Apart. His community is breaking apart. Now, Achebe shows us how external forces and internal conflicts can lead to the disintegration of communities and cultures. It's a powerful reminder of the importance of unity and understanding in the face of adversity. So we have this anti-hero who basically is going through this journey, this roller coaster, as everything he has ever known is being changed. It's the kind of last stand for this masculine-dominated society. And it's breaking apart. It's breaking apart at the seams, like so many other communities would repeat in the future and presently. And we have this mass movement towards a globalized identity and globalized definition of humanity. Well, this is a great example of globalization happening and affecting even the most powerful and even the most resolute cultures like the Igbo tribe. So 1960s, and then you're thinking about, oh my goodness, well, what was happening in the world then, and then what's happening in the Igbo society. It shows you how events in America, the West, events in Russia, the Soviet Union, these kinds of things do affect other small cultures, or lesser known cultures, we might say, like the Igbo society. And this just is a really interesting element to see how things break apart, possibly naturally, possibly everything breaks apart. And here we see a great example through the Igbo society, the Igbo tribe, becoming something totally different. So I hope you find those 6 key themes useful, and it helps you when you get into your GCSE exams or when you're writing essays about this amazing book. First things first, read the book. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. This is a fantastic author, and it's incredibly sad that this author is no longer with us and we won't be able to read any more of these books. Big thing to remember, you will not like Okonkwo. It's a very, very toxic character, but that makes this book even more interesting to read. So enjoy it, and try not to be too hard on Okonkwo. He's a man of his time, a man of his culture. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time for more videos helping you guys to smash your GCSE exams.